Remember when the first time Shadow of Erdtree DLC was announced? Some people were complaining, the price is too much, $40 for DLC, it's outrageous. And hence, I made a video saying, Elden Ring DLC is $40 and it is actually fine. And there I explained my reason. Now the DLC has been out for a while. Those people who were doubting and saying it's a DLC and it should not be $40, do you think it's still not worth $40? For me, I still can't believe this expansion is only worth $40. If you compare it with other well-established known games, they might even charge for a premium price. And yet, here we are, blessed with only $40 DLC. Honestly though, this DLC is like a whole game on its own. Maybe you can even call it a direct sequel or Elden Ring 1.5, as they have added so much stuff. And I wouldn't have been surprised had FromSoft or Bandai Namco to actually charge a bit more, maybe like $50 to $60. People should really discard the notion that DLC is just a small update that is worth at most maybe $10 to $20, since it can be more than just that. People should do some research regarding the history of the company that makes the game, since content of DLC can be varied depending on the companies. And Miyazaki, a man with principle, only puts value that he thinks is worth to be shown to the users. And speaking of Miyazaki-san, he was being very modest saying that the DLC is only as big as Limgrave. Sure, it is correct if you just compare the map size, but in actuality, the verticality of the level design makes the game to be so massive, and this probably can be a multiple of Limgrave's. Here, I've given you a side-by-side image and have inverted the Limgrave map to match the shape of Land of Shadow map. At first glance, from the map size, at most probably it is about 1.5 times bigger than Limgrave, so it is not that big. But once you start exploring, there's so many legacy dungeons and areas that have multiple layers of terrains that can be explored. I don't know the exact size, probably, if I would have to guess, the size of the DLC is probably about half of the size of the original game, maybe a bit more. Not just about size though, they have added so many new unique enemies and bosses, which makes the whole combat experience fresh again. And the combat experience is enhanced even further by adding so many new weapons, spells, items, and weapon types. This opens up all kinds of gameplay possibilities when it comes to crafting your own build. In the base game, you can already go with so many builds. Adding this on top, whew, so many things you can do. If you have watched some of my Elden Ring Fashion Lord / Fashion Soul videos, you have known how many different builds that I have made. By the way, playlist will be in the description for those who haven't seen any of it. So support me by liking the video and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. And I really want to continue the Fashion Lord series again. But I digress. Having more builds that you can play already adds so much value into the game itself. For those who likes PvP, those who like to do Fashion Souls, and even those who just want to do challenge runs. So $40 is very generous. Basically, not only this DLC adds so much stuff, but also makes the experience of revisiting the base game to be worth it again. You have obtained so many new weapons, items, ashes of wars, armors, and spells. All of this new stuff obtained through DLC will make the whole journey feels different again. And this will add even more gameplay hours. A good quality one, mind you. In conclusion, I gotta say, Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree DLC worth the price tag that they sold us for. When was the last time you buy a DLC for above $30 and it has so much content on it, it feels like a new game of its own? My last one was Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Rise Sunbreak, and I played over 100 hours on both expansion, and those are actually good quality and enjoyable hours that I don't regret spending on. I truly believe that more companies should take lessons from FromSoft and Capcom when designing DLC for their games. The price tag really should match the experience that we will get from them, be it in terms of short but amazing storytelling that cannot be found anywhere else, or just be like Elden Ring with a lot of good quality of gameplay hours, with fascinating worlds and gameplay. As for the users, people should really eliminate the perception that DLC is just a small thing. And if the DLCs are expensive, maybe above $20, the companies are just being greedy. They're not worth buying. Because by the end of the day, it is all about the value that they could provide us and whether those value worth the money that we spend on them. That way we know we make a good purchase, right? Anyway, that's all I want to say about this topic. Do leave a like, as this will really help put this video on the algorithm good side, and subscribe if you're new around here, as I make a lot of video game discussion content. Hopefully I can return to Fashion Lord series again at some point, once I can afford it. The next video, stay sharp gamers.